Welcome back to a series so delicious. Even Willy Wonka subscribed. In today's video, Hassan is now shaming people for donating to charity. He's now telling his community to create artificial positive clips about him because his PR is so bad. He's once again pulling the Hamas Piker special and glazing terrorists. XQC is calling out Hassan again. Ethan is calling out Denims for being extremely creepy and weird. Idubbbz has officially turned into a bread tuber, joining the ranks of the Hassan orbiters. Apparently he wants to box again and suffer even more brain damage. Subscribe for absolute cinema. Bring it home, Jellywig.
Let's up those numbers!
Now let's begin with Hassan calling out Mudahar for only donating $200,000 to charity. Hassan dono shames Mudahar for giving away 200K during COVID. 200 grand is tiny.
Like during COVID, I probably gave away $200,000 of charity, and it was like out of my personal accounts. I don't write any of this off for taxes because I don't believe in writing off charity for taxes. I think it's a pretty shitty thing to do.
Writing off charitable donations is a shitty thing to do. How? Why? All that means is that the money you donated is tax exempt, but you don't understand.
200 grand is tiny, by the way. I'm just saying. For all these guys, again, another thing I don't regularly boast about is my charitable contributions.
And
yeah, guys, 200 grand is tiny. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, the average American salary is like 50 to 60K a year, so that's like 4 times that. I think that would be an insane amount of money, you absolute out-of-touch loser. Of course, the multi-millionaire socialist always trying to brag about his wealth thinks that 200 grand is tiny. You know, I was wondering a while back, where did Froggen get the idea that 10K is actually chump change, right? Because when Ludwig donated to Palestine, he donated 10K, and Froggen was like, oh, keep your chump change.
Keep your fucking money. Keep your $10,000. Keep your little chump change. Like,
it seems like she got the idea from her Lord and Savior, Hassan, of course. And my question is for Mr. Hamas Piker, how much have you donated? All right, and your community does not count, right? So basically, if you guys are not aware of Hassan's method of operation, basically he will do a stream, right? And he'll get his unemployed reject fans to give their last $5 to this charity or whatever. He will not, donate himself. And then he says, oh guys, I raised 200 grand or whatever, right? And the fact is, you didn't do shit. You just begged people poorer than you to donate, all right? So this multi-millionaire socialist grifter shaming 200K to charity, which is a very insane amount of money, is just absolutely crazy, right? And I just love how he says, I don't ever boast about my charity, but I also do a lot of charity, guys. And I have a sneaking suspicion why Hassan does not show his charity publicly or whatever, if he even does it, is because he doesn't want to get pocket watched. You know, people will be like, oh, well, you're worth like 15, 20 mil. Why are you only donating this? Which is basically what he's doing to Mudahar here. That 50K he put into his Palestine fundraiser is much tinier if we go by this out-of-touch regards logic. Listen, if you're donating even a cent to charity or whatever to help other people, props to you. You're doing a good job or whatever. But then don't pocket watch these other people, especially when they're, donating a pretty substantial amount. And I just don't understand his logic here, because if you're going to call out Muda, then you have to call out Dan Clancy, because last I checked, Dan Clancy donated $1,000 to Team Water, which I think is, perfectly fine or whatever. But, everybody else in the call donated like 100K and people were calling him out for it or whatever, right? So if you're going to keep that same consistency, you need to go after him as well. But of course you won't, because he's your little Diddy party enjoyer, of course. 200K is tiny. How much money has Hassan Piker donated of his own money? Has donated at least 70,000 of his own money. Holy frick, I'm sorry, Hassan is a minimum 15 million sitting in a bank account. His audience donates for him and he takes the credit while donating minute amounts of money. He's such a roach. Yeah, Hassan donates for the tax write-off, which again isn't very leftist of him, trying not to pay as much in taxes. If Hassan had any conviction to stand by what he says that Ethan's wife should have refused to join the IDF and just gone to jail, right? So Hassan should refuse to pay taxes, which is funding, Israel, and just go to jail because, fight for what you believe in, right? But of course he's not going to do that because he's a fucking fraud. Of course, that's small to him. It's how much he spends on ugly clothes and tacky trinkets per week, dude. Honestly, like, Hassan is spending so much money on his, like, mansion, his supercars and shit like that. So it's like, I don't know, it's just not very socialist of you. Keep in mind, this guy also claims to live on a basic necessity budget. I mean, by that logic, you need to donate 99% of your incomes because you can live off of 1%. Anyways, moving on to Hassan begging his community to create positive clips about him because I assume he's been seeing so many negative clips going viral and he's really concerned about his PR. Hassan talks about improving his PR and his responsibility to the kids watching him. You can't be serious, bro. You know, you're teaching them a lot. You're teaching them to grow up and become terrorist supporters, you know, or, you know, if since you glaze them so much, maybe actual terrorists.
It's a reminder when I see like a lot of young people watching me. It's another reminder that like, I mean, I take what I do very seriously in terms of like giving a alternative perspective to people that they never really frequent, they never really see. So it's a lot better that they get their news from me than, you know, than get into like the brain rot content, I think. So that's something I got to work on as well. We don't have to, you know, something I got to actively push back against, like with all the clippers. I still don't know how. I still haven't been able to figure out. I guess like with overwhelming force, we just need to do positive clip PR to just like counterbalance all of the negative clip PR that comes from like numerous communities that I've gotten, numerous communities that I've like beefed with. You got to do more collab stuff, I fear, like streamer games. Yeah, I do have to do more collab stuff for sure.
Right, so streamer games is Ludwig's event, by the way. And listen up, Jellywig, I know you're watching. If you invite this fucking freak, we're gonna have some problems, all right? You got a rare W after calling out Idubbbz. Let us keep it that way, okay? Ludwig is slowly gaining favor back into the community, all right? You don't want to slip back to rock bottom. If I see those two in the same room, I swear to God, I'm gonna crash out. Do not let this leech try to ingrain himself in more communities. Also, what he means by providing people an alternate perspective is the perspective of supporting terrorists. All right, it's a very alternate perspective, guys. It's like when the entirety of civilization and society is like, well, PDF files are bad, and then Hassan, the absolute revolutionary, the underdog hero, goes, actually, guys, I do support PDF files. Like, thanks, bro. Thanks for your very unique opinion. He really thinks he's like some sort of big brain over here. Like, I'm giving the opinion that nobody else is got. Yeah, because it's a fucking stupid opinion. He also talks about how they're watching like brain rot content. I don't know who he's referring to. I guess slop tubers again. Like, if you're watching Hassan, I'm pretty sure you're getting a little more brain rotted than any of my videos, okay? At least there's a little bit of logic here. And how pathetic it is that even as the biggest leftist streamer, you have to manufacture artificial like PR. He's saying to create overwhelmingly, you know, fucking positive clips of PR. How about you just stop saying dumb shit so you can't get clipped and ruin your reputation? Like, I got like 20 clips each video, dog, and it's been like 100 episodes. Just before this, you were dono shaming someone for donating 200k, dog, and this isn't like 100 millionaire. For Muda, even 200k I imagine is still a decent chunk of money. I'm a positive person, 10 toes down, 9/11 was deserved. Regard. He's so desperate for respect yet doesn't do any of the work for it. He has to deal with an audience of literal regarded children who don't know anything because it's the only group he can convince he isn't a hypocrite and a moron. Right, so after this, he justifies Russia's invasion of Ukraine and then does the unthinkable. He defends Hamas terrorists again. You just can't make this shit up, dude. This is like the 500th time, bro. Give us a different presentation for once. Hassan explains how the Ukraine and Palestine situations are different.
Russia is waging this war in their minds, in their estimation, in the estimation of the third world, at the behest of everyone that has been fucked over by American imperialism. While Russia is engaging in irredentus acts that are unconscionable and unjust and violent and totally immoral, that is the analysis that the rest of the countries around the globe are looking at. That is what they're looking at. They're looking at Ukraine as an extension of the West, and they're looking at, you sound like Israel asking Hamas why they won't just agree to a ceasefire. What do you mean? Hamas has put forward a fucking million ceasefire proposals. Israel's the one who fucked them. No, your analysis is fucking busted here. This is, of course, Also, completely, you have to be completely oblivious to the fucking conditions on the ground, and not only the conditions on the ground, but also who America is funding in this situation.
Yes, how could I be so stupid, guys? The terrorists are the good guys, of course. They're the ones trying to negotiate properly. I Hamas Piker, believe everything the terrorists say 100% of the time. I've never seen a criminal piece of shit lie ever in my entire life, actually. I automatically believe everything, and they have the best of intentions, obviously. Fucking idiot, dude. Why can't you be normal and criticize Israel without glazing Hamas? Is that so hard for you? Is that like, holy shit, man? You're like SpongeBob in that episode trying to gasp for like water, and you're like, I need it. I need to glaze the terrorists. Bro is choking on that terrorist lung, bro. It is so deep, so deep. This is coming from the same bald idiot who said Russia wouldn't invade Ukraine. Anyways, Asmon responded. He calls out Hamas.
Asking Hamas why they won't just agree to a ceasefire. What do you mean? Hamas has put forward a fucking million ceasefire proposals. Israel's the one who fucked them.
Uh-huh.
And not only the conditions of the ground, but also
defending Hamas. Yeah, Hamas are terrorist murderers that kill their own people. And they starve their own people, too. They're disgusting. Yeah, I mean, the world is, as soon as Hamas is removed, the world will become a better place. Do you know who else agrees with me on this? Saudi Arabia. They're terrorist, religious, extremist, fanatic, psycho murderers. Terrorists do that? Yeah. You can't look at what they're doing or saying. Yeah, it's insane. Still haven't released the hostages? Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I just don't know how Hassan really sits there defending the most horrific people on planet Earth, right? These are like unanimously agreed by the entirety of humanity that they are absolute degenerate freaks, except Hassan. Hassan is the one intellectual. He's apparently just 1,000 years ahead of all of us, right? He's the forgotten mad scientist of this generation, right? Honestly, Hassan, I think you should take a flight to Gaza. They like just walk in, you know, Hamas is gonna welcome you with open arms. They might even appoint you as their leader at this point. The propaganda is just crazy. According to Hassan here, Hamas, the literal death cult, wants peace, guys. They're the reasonable ones here. Please, just listen to them. Yes. The expert political opinion and genius analysis by one Hamas Piker again. And this guy really wonders, like, every day sitting there on stream with his dumbass chat, and he goes, but why do people hate me, guys? Why do they think I'm bad? Why is my PR so bad? I mean, if anybody asks that, just point them to the series, point them to these clips. The fact that he still thinks that he's welcome in all these like random gaming communities in the streamer world and everything is just crazy to me. And the fact that he hasn't been completely blacklisted is even crazier to me, because are these people blind? Are they like, do they support this? Like, there's a lot of questions here, right? So then Asmon talks about Hassan's logic, right? Whenever evaluating any situation, it's basically whatever is anti-American, whatever it like makes America suffer the most, whatever is the opposite side of America, he will support.
I think that Hassan looks at pretty much every geopolitical conflict as in, I think he looks at it through the lens of, is this the side with or against Western American interests? And he generally chooses the opposite side. I think that's like he has a reactionary opinion on pretty much every geopolitical issue, it seems. Right? Every single time that there is like a foreign country that has some sort of regressive or reductive worldview, or a foreign country that's doing something problematic, somehow it's always the United States' fault. And so that's really, and again, if you guys don't believe me, just wait for the next one to happen, and you'll probably see this be proven true. Yeah, basically anything, whatever is against the United States.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that is exactly Hassan's way of thinking. If you boil it down to a science, if you wanted to get like 99% of Hassan's takes before they happen, just look at the side that is beefing with America, I guess, and he will support them, right? And I feel like America is one of the only countries that actually allows this shit, because, you know, if I was the leader, you know, I would fucking toss this guy in prison, all right? Like, because he's doing actual harm here, harming your country, constantly supporting people that want a lot of innocent people dead, including Americans as well, right? I don't know. I started off thinking he's just like this ill-informed guy, just a stupid guy. But slowly, as I see more and more clips, I feel like he's just straight up evil, bro. This guy is like an actual menace to the world. Then Hassan talks about how the only reason people don't like him is because they watch like out of context clips about him. And if they watched his entire long form streams, then they would love him. Then they would come to understand him, of course. Asmon doesn't think watching Hassan in long form content helps his case, points to the Ethan debate. Also denies Destiny moving him in the pro-Israel direction.
On QAnon for a motherfucking Twitch streamer, dude.
What is he talking about?
There is a reason why so many of these people never actually take the next step, take the next leap, and actually come in here and see what I have to say without any sort of fucking guardrails. Okay? They can't entertain it. Because if they did, if they actually questioned,
people sat and they watched the entire Ethan Klein debate, and that didn't help Hassan at all. Like I don't even get this.
Their intellectual grandfather here.
Yeah, the last time that everybody watched a full long-form Hassan debate conversation was the Ethan one, and overwhelmingly a lot of people were against him.
It was a fucking sex pest. They would find out that he's just been lying to them for fucking years.
Wow.
Non-stop.
Wow.
It's okay. History has and will continue to vindicate me.
I don't know about that. Hassan thinks Destiny led content creators down the pro-Israel. It's just like this is you want to talk about QAnon? This is the most QAnon shit I've ever heard. I'm not even pro-Israel. I didn't listen to Destiny about Israel-Palestine to begin with. And it's like neither of these things are even true. It's not even real.
You know, I've always said this. I say this in all my videos. I give everyone a free pass. Go watch Hassan. Go watch his 10-hour streams. Come to your own conclusions. Now, and if you make it, if you survive, you know, which you probably won't, you'll be lobotomized by then, you know, come back and let me know how it goes, right? And I guarantee you, you will end up disliking him more because then you will have an even better idea of who this actual freak is. And is it just a coincidence that in any long form debate ever, Hassan gets absolutely obliterated, whether it be Ethan or anyone else? He just cannot stand on business when he is confronted on his constant lies, right? When Ethan was confronting him about everything, he just had the no response. He just called him a racist piece of shit, which is ironic, obviously. And I love how he keeps trying to say that Asmon is like pro-Israel or whatever. It's just straight up lying at this point. Like, you know his opinions. He's criticized Israel a ton. He literally says the US should not get involved at all. He just doesn't support Hamas as well, unlike you. Once again, nuance is just not in his dictionary as well. If you criticize Hamas, automatically Hassan will think you're an Israel dick rider. All Hassan's views must be from clankers and wiredbacks. I refuse to believe real people are watching his channel. Yeah, well, humanity does have the lowest of the low. Anyways, moving on to XQC. He's once again calling out Hassan and everybody else. XQC throws shots at Hassan, says he's the most brain dead of them all, purposely using MAGA tactics.
Middle will do it.
Dude, the right is brain dead. Everybody's brain dead. Everything policy is brain dead. Destiny's brain dead. Asmongold's brain dead. But the brain dead of the year goes to Hassan. I am pulling the ripcord. Hassan is brain dead. He says the most wildest shit, but never applies to him. It's diabolical, brother.
Actually, the word is diabolical. But yes, he's cooking. He's cooking. I'll let him continue here.
I think that since he's back against the wall these days, he actually knows for a fact he's doing it. But he's like, dude, the right does this, so I'm gonna do it. Start doing it too. Acting like we don't see what's going on behind the scenes. Acting like we don't see the mindset. It's obvious he's swapped and he's going to like last ditch effort tactics because he's back against the wall. It's not crazy. It's the most obvious thing we've seen ever. He's mad that people. I found the Azantard. You're hating at his success.
Azan chatter when they leave their echo chamber. Bro, nobody cares that he is successful. I highly doubt XQC cares. Bro is chilling. He got his $100 million deal that Hassan was also conveniently malding about, obviously. Also, completely unrelated, but XQC kind of reminds me of like a RuneScape goblin. Not in like a rude way, just sort of like an endearing way. It's sort of like nostalgic. But anyways, then he talks about Hassan losing to Asmongold in every single argument ever.
Azan sits there on Mr. Chair every fucking day, okay? And he mauls that he lost to a cockroach. He calls him cockroach. He calls Asmon cockroach. Says, yo, this cockroach. and he loses to a cockroach every single day. 365 days of a year, he loses to cockroach. Yes, they didn't just take it. Yes, just take it. He actually lost about the cockroach, man. That's crazy.
Deriving their opinions from it.
That has been f***ed over by American imperialism.
If Hassan hates America so much, chat, guys, why doesn't he just move low key? Buddy, you can go anywhere you want. You're rich enough. You can move anywhere you want.
I mean, that is pretty embarrassing, but another XQCW take. A lot of people have been asking for, subtitles. You don't understand him. Brother, the subtitle feature does not work for this man. All right, and I am not doing that shit manually. You gotta lock in, hyper glaze your auditory canals. Try to decipher this ancient hieroglyphic Egyptian nonsense here. But anyways, whatever he's saying, he's cooking. All right, he's cooking. At least what I got from that. Batman says, Hassan. But anyways, moving on to Ethan versus Denims. Basically, if you remember, Ethan called out Denims for being extremely creepy, defending Ava Chris Tyson for, their PDF file type behavior, buying all that sus art, putting it on the bedroom wall. Ava was defending it, being like, well, it doesn't look like a child. It was definitely looking like a child, right? Also, in the past, he went over some of Denims' art, right? And I didn't show it in my video because that's some fucking weird shit, but she was drawing minors and, a lot of weird positions and shit going on. Not stuff grown people should be participating in at all. So he dropped this creepy edit here. Ethan throws shots at Denims in latest Instagram stories, takes it back to the time she defended Ava Tyson. Also drops a Denims marionette puppet edit. Oh my god, bro. I cannot unsee that. That is some creepy shit, bro. I'm not gonna be able to sleep at night. Holy shit. That's gonna haunt my nightmares for the next 15 centuries, dog. Holy, I need to stop covering Denims. Oh my god. Right, so anyways, he also posted this on his Instagram. Denims defends lol. Denims draws lol. Denims PDF baits on OnlyFans. What do we think, folks? And then we got Denims here, just, I guess, sitting there. And there's a bunch of, teddy bears, sort of implying that she's, a little girl or whatever. And this is in, a sexualized context, so it's just really weird. I covered her feet. You need to pay her to see the goods. That's a free fair use lesson for you, Denims. Okay, yeah, a little quick jab there at the copyright lawsuit, of course. Yeah, honestly, I think this type of stuff is really creepy. Obviously, I don't know the full contents of the OnlyFans, but I think it's really weird if you're a grown-ass adult and, you're trying to sell your pictures and you're specifically trying to appeal to, PDF files, but presenting yourself in this sort of little girl context, surrounding yourself by these little teddy bears, I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know what her intent was behind that, but that's how people are interpreting it. Oh my god, we got the ultimate simp. The irony drips like Folly's finest elixir. Beyond the PDF file drivel if it holds water, Ethan's crusade seems only to polish Denim's allure in the eyes of the masses. You mean in the eyes of PDF file? Bro, what are you even talking about? Listen, Denims is a full-grown woman. You can do whatever you want. I'm just saying it's a bit weird. What the frick? I love Denims now. What are these people, man, on Twitter? Ethan would give his left nut for just one snip. He has a wife and family. What? You guys are so fucking weird. So Ethan also dropped a Hassan Denims puppet meme. Oh my god. So we got Hassan here, and his, I guess this is a ventriloquist dummy. And then we got Denims. I mean, Hassan's puppets, it doesn't really have the same ring as the Hassan orbiters, but I'd say it's pretty creative. It's pretty creative here. She looks as creepy as hell. I can't imagine how much Ethan is thankful for abandoning the Hassan community. He seems to be living his best life because of it. I think he's enjoying this a little too much, not gonna lie. So somebody responded here, this is sexual harassment. Ethan Klein is sexually harassing the woman he's suing, and I hope Denims and her lawyers understand that. They need to let the courts know. Yeah, also your name is Male Slayer. Yeah, that's a very reasonable person right there. By the way, yeah, this argument is just not going to hold up in court. I don't think you know the definition of SA or, harassment of this kind at all. He's just pointing out that Denims is being very creepy here. It's an opinion, right? He didn't say any facts here or anything like that. But anyways, if you notice, Taylor Lorenz, the absolute #1 simp journalist who is glazing Hassan all the time. Play the clip.
The other thing with Hassan, he's unreasonably good looking and like cool and dresses cool.
Tell me about it.
But do you know what I mean? Like Hassan would be an influencer no matter what he was saying because he is
hot,
very attractive and very cool and genuinely a good person too. I will say, like, Hassan is actually a cool, fun, good person.
So anyways, Ethan responded, every time Taylor Lorenz retweets something like this, I know that she's quietly seething. She wants to talk shit so bad, but she's too big of a liar, hypocrite, coward to not get caught out immediately. Basically, if you're like reposting this, this is like a tactic they use where they don't want to explicitly say it or deal with the backlash of saying it themselves. So they just retweet somebody and basically signal boost it that way. And Hassan would do this as well, right? With that Gato person or anybody who is, talking shit on Ethan or whatever, he would like signal boost them, talk about them, show their videos like Bad Empanada. But he's also like keeps an arm's length distance being like, well, actually, I don't support them, guys, when you clearly do and you're promoting them and everything like that, right? Ethan also dropped this making fun of Hassan. Meanwhile, over at Twitch TV, all the food in Gaza, it's even longer, but max is 1 minute for stories. And it's basically Hassan over here, not even there. You would think after the copyright lawsuit he would learn, but apparently these people are never going to sue him. Obviously, they're on the same side here. But yeah, classic. Just using somebody else's content here, giving no commentary. He's not there for a minute, even longer than a minute. Classic, man. I don't do that anymore, Hassan Piker. Nah, he needs to keep his viewers while he's taking a shit or peeing or something. Gotta give a chair a medal for doing all that reacting for free. I'd argue it is more transformative with the chair. It has more intelligent commentary, of course. And the legendary meme, live Hassan reaction, of course. Anyways, moving on to Idubbbz. Apparently, he's officially become a bread tuber, which is like, in the Hassan orbiter community, basically a person who makes YouTube videos like Noah Samson there, right? And he's basically trying to speak on politics again, which nobody really gives a fuck about Idubbbz's opinion on politics, right? He's not knowledgeable on any of this. He could barely navigate a YouTube drama, right? So he's talking about other countries here, not even the US, which makes it 10 times worse. I'm loving the Idubbbz bread tube arc.
Trying to get people to think about in the video is like, why are the Scottish kid? He would say, you don't want Europe to become like this, and would just generally just like say this is third world. You don't want Europe to become a third world, do you? And it's like, well, number one, you have to automatically be making some assumptions that the third world is necessarily like shitty.
Yeah, I mean, is anybody actually surprised that Idubbbz is descending into politics content? I mean, it's pretty obvious considering he was so obsessed with Hassan and his community. And I feel like it's really pathetic because even this surface level evaluation is so bad. Obviously, I'm not going to get into politics. I like to, be apolitical here. And obviously, I don't know much about it. I'm not going to pretend I do like Idubbbz here. But just going by some basic definitions. Now, third world, from what I understand, sometimes it's used as a like pejorative or whatever. But it's like factual description of places with like lower economic circumstances and living conditions and stuff like that. So basically it's referring to like developing countries or low and middle income countries. And I think if someone's living standards are bad, generally they're not going to like the place as much. And you can ask the people that live there as well, and they will agree with you, right? So this is not some sort of a racist opinion or anything like that. Now, of course, there's a lot of nuance to this, but Idubbbz would know none of it, living in fucking America and not having any knowledge about any of this. He used to be a fucking like commentary YouTuber, right? Right, so then he talks about Italy and like immigration or whatever.
There's a wide variety of markets in Italy from what I've seen as someone who hasn't even been there. But it's it is like, you just can't do that. You can't go to a random fucking market and turn your camera on and make a claim about the fucking country or about the city that you're in. You can kind of make a claim about the city, maybe. If that market is actually representative about the city, sure, but it's not. I went to a lot of places virtually on GeoGuessr. I've been to a lot of places in Italy.
Right, so I don't know anything about Italy, so again, I'm not going to speak on it and pretend to know anything about it like Idubbbz here, but now it's just starting to make sense why Idubbbz just loved Hassan and his community so much, because he just wanted to have an easy avenue to get into this politics thing. And I think, you know, people have their theories, but I don't think Idubbbz was like this. I think this is a little bit of a Nisa salt being sprinkled on him again, you know, chopped off his PP, turned him into Reek here, using him as a little political puppet here, you know, advocate for all the causes that she supports or whatever. I feel like politics rots your brain, and was I wrong? Was I wrong? Look at this man and tell me his brain is not rotted, guys. Fucking like, holy shit, what a perfect example.
Oh, this I also love. This has 2K likes. This was directed at me. Let an undocumented immigrant move in with you. I mean, sure, I guess. I might want to get to know them a little bit first.
Yeah, so this is like the problem. Idubbbz doesn't have the political know-how to combat any of these arguments, right? See, it's unlike somebody who has been doing this for a very long time. So he just automatically loses any argument, and then both sides will just hate him. You know, one side will hate him for being really stupid, and the other side will be like, well, you're not representing my politics correctly, right? So it's just a lose-lose for Idubbbz. I don't know why he's taken this decision here. It just seems like this is residual brain damage from the boxing fight. And in fact, it gave him so much brain damage that he wants to do it again. How stupid can you possibly be?
I would consider that, Elijah. It's one of those things where I don't plan on ever running a boxing event again. So, if there is an opportunity to box in the future, just only worrying about fucking myself would be great, Hey, and looking oily today?
Holy shit, dude. What a pathetic man. Oh my god. It's like hard to watch at this point. That brain damage really did a number on him. Holy shit, dude. It's like there's nothing there. An absolute pathetic husk of his former self. Like, I mean, I can't believe this guy actually used to be funny. And that was like back when he was my age, I guess. It's like, damn, if I ever turn into this, please stop watching, bully me off the internet. God damn. Like, I mean, that's never gonna happen. I got a good head on my shoulders and I'm not susceptible to be influenced by a fucking soul-sucking dementor or whatever the hell happened to him. I don't really know. And I'm not stupid enough to sign up for a boxing fight and get my brain scrambled either. So yeah, hopefully we'll be fine. But yeah, man, it is just crazy the fall off. Like, this needs to be studied. Here's what people are saying. He's not as good at being a bread tuber without Anissa there feeding him thoughts. Man, just zero logic whatsoever. I'll give him a participation ribbon for his Hassan impression. This is a castrated man. Oh my god. The humiliation ritual never ends. What a freaking idiot. What a loser. He's so bad at this. Wow. Nobody's agreeing with him. Man, I've been kind of hoping for the Idubbbz redemption arc, but I think he may be too far gone after seeing this. There is no hope. Like, he would have to find the most angel woman ever. Like, the opposite of Anissa. That's the only thing that could possibly save him. But this is real life. This ain't a fucking movie here, so I don't know, man. I think you're cooked. And it was click this video or the Denims puppet finds you and I guess murders you. I don't know. All right, thanks for watching. Bye bye.